Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans of 1977. And it's Saturday night, and you know what that means. It's time for the AEW Collision Event Center. And now, here's the man who's always been on a collision course with his brain half the time, Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans of 1977. And this is episode number 1232 of the show. And this is the final video for today, Saturday, February 24th, 2024, 10:24 p.m., Saturday evening. And this is also the final, talk about the final collision of February of 2024. As you know, next weekend will be beginning March. And as you know, all the AEW events next week will be the final go-home episodes before AEW Revolution a week from tomorrow. And now, if you guys have not watched the Elimination Chamber yet, do not watch my video pertaining to the Elimination Chamber, because I don't want to spoil. There is going to be some spoilers, as you know. I know a lot of us have not got a chance to watch the Elimination Chamber due to the time difference over there, 5 a.m. And I'm sure a lot of us have watched it by now. I have watched it when I came home from work and everything else, and enjoyed a nice, decent lunch, and just, sat down and enjoyed it. So there you go. So also, if you want to hear also my TNA results from No Surrender, refer to the AEW Rampage video. And then I did the AEW Rampage Event Center, and you'll be hearing all the results from there as well. But if you don't want to know what you haven't watched it yet, don't look at my videos either. Any wrestling event videos that I made, and if you don't want any spoilers, don't watch them. But if you want to watch them, that's fine. So just be careful, Viewer discretion is advised. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hope you guys, I ended up finished live reacting with my good friend Jordy Scow, and we had a great time. We had Andrew Hawking join us, which is really super cool. And we might go over Elimination Chamber tomorrow. So that's another thing too. And so if you want to tune in. So kind of looking forward to this. So let's get right into it, shall we? And we're going to be talking about, now, as you know, it seems like Chris Jericho is feuding with Don Callis. As you know, Chris Jericho has not been seen in quite a while. And so Sammy Guevara sticking up for the, Sammy Guevara standing up for himself against the hot dog head and his Goon Squad. And as you know, Will Ospreay will be on his way to AEW, and possibly by this coming Wednesday, the final Dynamite before before Evolution, he'll be there. As you know, he'll go. Will Ospreay will go one-on-one with Konosuke Takeshita, the Alpha. But Sammy Guevara went one-on-one with Powerhouse Hobbs in a no disqualification match. These two guys went at it. In fact, Guevara went through one table, and then Guevara put himself through another table via a swanton off a ladder, and landing on top of Powerhouse Hobbs. But both men exchanged blows, but it was Powerhouse Hobbs ended up winning the match. And everyone was banned from ringside. We have not seen, and Jericho was somewhere. So, anyways, so everyone was banned from the match, but Powerhouse Hobbs did win. Now, Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli responded to the challenge from FTR. They accepted it, and at Revolution, those two teams are going to go at it. Then FTR took on the team of Shane Taylor Promotions. It's Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. And FTR ended up winning that matchup. The question is, did Big Shotty Lee Lee Johnson joined them as well? I don't know. I forget. I don't know if Lee Johnson was part of it. But anyways, FTR did respond to Moxley and Castagnoli after the matchup. And basically, they can't wait to face the Blackpool Combat Club at Revolution. Meanwhile, Renee Paquette, actually, no, beforehand, women's action. First women's matchup on the card for Collision. Thunder Rosa took on the rookie, making her Collision debut, Lady Bird Monroe. What a name. What a unique name. Lady Bird Monroe. And Thunder Rosa ended up picking up the victory because of her edge and experience. Renee Paquette interviewed Chris Statlander, Laurel Nightingale, and Stokely Hathaway, who was taking exception of the insults that Julia Hart and Sky Blue had to say about Hathaway, which Chris Statlander said, hey, you want to fight, Sky Blue? Let's fight. So that match is going to happen. Trios matchup. Now, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, represented by Billy Gunn, his son Colton, and Jay White, going up against the Iron Savages in the trios matchup, and the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, represented by the three gentlemen I just mentioned, ended up winning that matchup. Then Lexi Net interviewed Bryan Danielson about two reasons. One, his match against Jun Akiyama, and the other, his matchup at Revolution challenging Eddie Kingston for the Continental Crown Championship. And so basically, I think Bryan Danielson's willing to send a message to Eddie Kingston if need be. So there's that. Then the bounty hunter Brian Keefe, a former Reality of Wrestling champion, took on the team. He took on Malachi Black, and this was a heck of a matchup. Malachi Black did win the matchup, but the lights went out after the matchup, and then when they turned back on, Mark Briscoe appeared in the ring with a kendo stick attacking Malachi Black, and here comes Brody King and Buddy Matthews and then Briscoe decided to fight them up until Black did jump Briscoe from behind, and the three of them took care of things from there. But Briscoe tried to attempt to spike Black with the spike that Julia Hart stabbed him with, but instead Malachi Black got out of the way, and Malachi Black jumped him, and then they took advantage of him in that situation. So, another matchup on the card, another women's matchup, Lady Frost took on Serena Deeb, a heck of a matchup. You know, Lady Frost's husband, Victor Benjamin, is obsessed with peanut butter. I'm not kidding you. You go to his tweets on X.com, he likes peanut butter, anything with peanut butter. That's Victor Benjamin's thing. That's her husband's name. Victor Benjamin was also a wrestler, by the way. So, I thought that was hilarious, to say the least. But, hey, peanut butter's good. I like it. And then Serena Deeb did pick up the victory over Lady Frost with a half-crab submission hold. And then Deeb addresses the Springfield crowd, but Tulsa by accident, about bringing the women's division back to prominence. And it seems like she's calling out a few people referencing the black and white with Toni Storm, and everything else. I'm sure she'll be watching. Speaking of Toni Storm, I'm sure Serena Deeb will be watching the championship matchup between Toni Storm and Deonna Purrazzo very, very closely. She said she was to bring back the women's division in a big way. So we'll see what happens. And Eddie Kingston arrived to do commentary on the main event matchup, which is Bryan Danielson going one-on-one against the Japanese wrestling legend Jun Akiyama. And this was a heck of a matchup. Could have gone either way. And Danielson ended up winning the matchup. And so Danielson and Akiyama was still in the middle of the ring. They shook hands. And then he looked at Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston says, "What, you won, right?" And then Bryan Danielson flipped him off, which angered Akiyama. And Akiyama scolded him and said, "Hey, that was disrespectful, man. Why would you want to do that, man? He's one of my students, man. I trained him." And then Bryan Danielson's like, "Okay, fine." So he extended his hand again. They shook hands. But Bryan Danielson low blows him. That angered Eddie Kingston. He jumped in the ring, started beating up on Bryan Danielson. Here comes Claudio Castagnoli, and then, Castagnoli and Danielson were stomping on Kingston until FTR came to the aid of Eddie Kingston, which leads to a six-man trios matchup this coming Wednesday on Dynamite, where Eddie Kingston and FTR joined forces against the team of the Blackpool Combat Club, Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson, and Claudio Castagnoli. So, that is it. And we talked about dream matches. I'm thinking, what if Claudio Castagnoli comes back to the WWE as Cesaro, and he'll be known as and he'll fight Gunther for the Intercontinental title? I would love to see that matchup. Well, that's all the time we have on this show. Episode 1232 has been complete, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Eric Lima Shenanigans in 1977. I will see you on the next episode. Until that next episode comes, Mr. Announcer, please take us home. That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, doing for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.